Good morning, beautiful people of the world. Good morning. Good morning. You know what day it is. You know what day it is. It's Friday. Hey, it's Friday, baby. And we gon' party to the break of dawn. Yes, we are. It's Friday. Hey, it's Friday, baby. Hey, and we gon' party to the break of dawn. Hey, I did my work this week. Woo! And baby, something. I don't know. I'm gonna find out what the song. I'm gonna learn all the words to the song and sing it to y'all. I know he say it's payday. He said I go and get. He said I'm going to buy me a fresh new pair of Gators. Yeah, that's what he say. I just realized. Oh well, I do it when I get off of here. I just realized something. But I'll do it when I get off here. Hopefully I will remember. But it is Friday, October 31st. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. I know a lot of you all do not celebrate Halloween, and some of you do. And it's all right if you do or you don't. Amen, somebody. Amen. It's all right. It's all right if you don't celebrate Halloween. And it's all right if you do. The other night I came on live and there was a lady on, I can't think of her name. She said she was 77 years old. And she was talking about Halloween and how demonic Halloween is, and it's the devil's holiday, and given her age, I certainly understand why she said what she said. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm like, sound like someone was in the back of the car. Make sure ain't nobody in my back seat, child. Does it show? Nope, ain't nothing on the back seat. You got to be looking, child. You got to be looking. But anyway, she was talking about it was the devil's holiday, and she was talking about this whole bunch of some stuff. There's a lot of stuff that she was saying that it was the devil's holiday, and people shouldn't celebrate Halloween, and it's this, it's that, blase, skippy, woo. And like I said, given the age that she is, I would more than likely think that she would feel that way because she probably grew up with those kind of teachings. And me being 55, I grew up with the same type of teachings. But my family didn't go all the way in about Halloween, They just didn't celebrate it. And they did say the same type of things, So we didn't celebrate it. But I like Halloween to a certain extent, okay? I like Halloween. But what I don't like is when I don't like gory stuff. And, that's for anything. It doesn't have to be particularly, I gotta find a way to get around you. Particularly, it doesn't have to be necessarily about Halloween. I just don't like gory things, That's just me. But, some people do. And like I was trying to explain to her, I said, when you want to talk about it's the devil's holiday, I said it's the devil's holiday every day. It's something bad happening every day. And it's not Halloween every day. You know, and Halloween is just one day where people want to they want to dress in costume. It's one day. It's not, for me, it's just not that serious. It's just not that serious. And I as I've gotten older and so much stuff is happening in the world and going on, it's just not that big of a deal for me. What's the big deal for me that I want to talk about today? That is the Devil's Day, and a day that is horrible, is how many millions of people will lose their SNAP benefits. That's worse than somebody putting a costume on and acting like a witch or a goblin or a monster or Frankenstein. What's happening right now in the Senate, what's happening right now in our country, is the Devil's Day. You the devil anytime you want to take away food out of children's mouths and elderly people who depend on that, because they don't get that much in Social Security. So, you know, when people want to talk about Halloween, look, Halloween is one day that people put on costumes and they go trick-or-treating and they go to Halloween parties and they have fun. Let people have a moment, especially in this time. Let people have their joy. I get it, and I got what she was saying on the live, but I got tired of reading her comment over and over again about, oh, you know, it's the Devil's Day. And that's why I said every day is. Every day is. You know, we living in a country right now that don't give a damn about us as Americans. We're living in a time right now where we really like living in a third world country. Anytime you want to hike up my insurance, the cost of insurance, huh? What? Say what? Say who? Anytime you want to tell me that you want to cut off EBT, the SNAP benefit program, and please, let's be clear. Let's be clear. Everybody that receives SNAP food benefits is not non-working people. Let's be clear. Now, this is the same mofos that y'all voted for and put in Congress that said that they don't believe in a woman's choice for abortion. So you all are telling women and telling families, have the baby, have the baby, have the baby, have the children. And they have the babies because you have made it so that women cannot get abortions and have the option of free choice, pro-choice. And then when the babies come here and they're already struggling financially with 1 or 2 children, and now here come baby number 3, you tell them, I'm taking your SNAP benefits away. I'm taking away your WIC. So you can't get, so now you can't get milk for the baby. You can't get food for the baby. You can't get none of that. But have the baby. You know, because if you have an abortion, you this and that and the other. Because condoms break, birth controls are not as effective as they used to be. So people are having sex, people are getting pregnant. People are saying, I don't want the baby. Oh, you're going to have the baby. You're going to have the baby. But once the baby get here, y'all don't want to help these parents or these mothers, these single mothers or single dads. You don't want to help them. So, you know what? I don't give a shit. I don't give 2 shits about Halloween. I really don't. I don't give 2 shits about Halloween and what people celebrating Halloween, dressing up for Halloween, going to do their thing, having their fun. I don't care. Right now, my concern is about how many people are about to be out here looting, stealing, carjacking, robbing everyday Americans to get up and go to work like me to pay their bills. They're going to be cracking people over the head because they're hungry, because the government has decided that they don't want to help them. And before you all do that, because I know it's going to be a lot, I know you all are going to come for me, and I know it's going to be a few of you all that's going to write on this video, oh, you know, see, some people been on the system, been taking advantage of the system for years, and guess what, goddammit, and so has these fucking Republicans who get who are billionaires, who get a tax break for the next 6-7 years where they don't have to pay taxes, and they don't have to have taxes taken out of their payroll, their money. So don't tell me shit about people that's been on welfare for so many, for so long. Don't tell me shit about them. I don't want to hear it. When you start making them motherfuckers stop getting free this and free that, when they don't have to pay taxes, then we can talk about all the people that take advantage of the system. What do you think rich white folk been doing for the last 20, 30 years? Longer than that. You don't think they've been stealing? Come on. Don't tell me shit about the poor man, how long he been on the system, and he had took advantage of the system. So have they. And they still taking advantage of the system. You know, it's amazing to me how people don't think. You know, and what irritates me is when I get on social media and all down my Facebook timeline, there are people talking about, oh, you know, yeah, they ain't gonna get their snacks now. Now what they gonna do? Ha ha ha. That shit is not funny. It's not anything to laugh about. Because while you're sitting in your judgment seat, while you sitting in your judgment seat judging folk about Halloween, about you should go out and wear a costume because it's the devil's day, while you sitting back ha 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 about somebody losing their SNAP benefits and don't know what they're going to do for the rest of the month, you think that's funny? Where's the laughter? Where's the humor? Where is the laughter and where's the humor? Because let me say this. As sure as it's somebody else today, it will be your black ass or your white ass or your Hispanic ass tomorrow. Don't be so quick to sit up in your seat because you got this and you got that. Yeah, you got this and you got that. But it's a lot of people who get up every day, like me and you, and go to work, but they don't get paid enough money. They don't get paid enough money to subsidize or to be able to afford food. Are you all living under a rock? And I'm not specifically talking to you all that watch this channel, but I'm just talking about in just people. Do people live up under a rock? Where have you been? And this is why I know people don't watch the news. This is why I know people don't watch any other news channels, other outlets. And this is why I know people don't follow people like Jasmine Crockett, Joy Reid, Roland Martin, just to name a few. People don't watch MSNBC. People don't watch Al Sharpton. Y'all just stick with 2, 5, and 7. And y'all want to see, oh, is it going to be warm today? Because I want to wear my mini skirt. Let me go do a TikTok reel. Let me go dance. And see, SNAP is not just about the food. It's other things that come with that. Especially when you're talking about taking care of special need children. And to be honest with you all, we all should be getting some type of help from the government when it comes to food. Because your big, fat, orange, ugly man got in there and said that the first 100 days of his presidency, he was going to reduce the grocery prices that were so high. He was going to bring the prices of groceries down. And my question is, has he done it? Have you been in the grocery store? Have you shopped? Because if you've seen a difference, please let me know. Let me know where you shop. Because I need you to get me some things. Why is it that we are paying this big, enormous amount of money for eggs? Eggs. I'm going to say it one more again. Eggs. Then it was before it was the chicken wings. I mean, the shit just go on and on and on and on and on. All the things that he said he was going to do the first 100 days, he's done none of it. Gas is still high. We will never see a time where gas is $2. Gas is high. And here's the thing. If people cannot feed their families, they're not going to go out here and buy Christmas gifts. Why would you? And you do this, and he has no intentions of even coming to the table to talk, to make some kind of deal so that the government can open back up. Think about all the people that are not getting paid right now that work for the federal government. So while you hee-hawing and you laughing and you thinking that this shit is funny, let me tell you something. Everything that affects somebody else that you don't think affect you will affect you eventually. We all, whether you receive SNAP or not, you will be affected by those who don't. And I'm a single parent. And Christopher is on my health insurance. And I believe he can stay on my health insurance until he's up to the age of 26. But they're trying to change that. So right now he's on my health insurance. And no blinker, no nothing. He's on my health insurance. But if they decide that they're going to raise my health insurance premium, what I pay now, to come out of my payroll check, I just can't imagine. I just cannot imagine what my insurance premium will be for him and myself. So, you know, when you want to sit up here and you want to talk about people, when you want to sit up here and you want to judge and you want to talk about how people are and what people have done with the system and all of this old goofy shit that y'all want to talk about. And believe me, when I say y'all, I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but when I say y'all, I'm just saying y'all. But when people want to sit up and talk about these people and want to judge, you better be careful. You better be careful. Well, I don't get SNAP. That don't affect me. It don't matter. It don't matter whether you get it or not. You will be affected. Because when one person in this country, or a few people, or a group of people are affected by something, don't you know that all the rest of us are too? All the rest of us are too. You may not think that You may not think you are. But you are. We all are affected in some shape, form, or fashion. All of us. All of us. And I'm just so sick and tired of hearing people say, well, they should have, they could have, they needed to do better and blah. It just make me shake my head. There's a scripture that says, for the grace of God, for there go I by the grace of God. I talked about this on the live. When I lost my job in 2011, I got laid off. I had worked at the University of Chicago, here in Chicago. Had worked for the University of Chicago for 14 years. I had something called TIA-CREF, okay? And with the TIA-CREF, you could get loans off of that money or whatever. That was like your 401k, right? So when I got laid off, this is how dirty, this is how you people don't care nothing about you. All the years I had worked as a single woman, all the years that I had worked and did not have a child or children. I had Christopher in 2008. So 2009, 2010, 2011. He was 3. When I started here, he was in kindergarten. Because I started here in 2013. So from 2011 to 2013, I did not have a job. So when I got laid off from my job in 2011, I had a 3-year-old, close to a 3-year-old. And if you know anything about 3-year-olds or children, they get sick all the time with something. So they decided to phase my position out. I came to work that day like any other day. I was laid off, lost my job February 8th of 2011. I will never forget it. It was the worst day of my life. So February 8th, I had a car note. I had just bought a Toyota Camry. I had that Toyota Camry, which I didn't like. I had that Toyota Camry, probably had only had it maybe a year or two. Something like that. So I had a car note. I had rent. I had bills, right? And I had a kid. And I was a single mother that did not receive child support. So here these people that didn't give a damn about the fact, they knew that I had a child, gave me a big baby shower. I had 3 baby showers at work. My co-workers gave me a baby shower. My professors who I worked under, they gave me a baby shower. And then the students that I would deal with, they gave me a baby shower. I had 3 baby showers. So it wasn't like they didn't know that I had a kid. So they decided to phase my position out. They decided to phase my position out with me having this little bitty kid. No husband with no health insurance. It's just me. When you talk about being devastated, I was devastated. And one of the reasons why I stayed at this job and continued to work behind that garbage truck, even though I did not want to, was because I felt and I feared trying to find another job because it took me so long to find this one. So when I lost my job, I had no more health insurance. I had health insurance for like 3 months. And then I would have had to get on COBRA. And if you're not familiar with COBRA, COBRA is expensive as hell. It's like a private insurance. And you have to pay, you get COBRA, you got to pay COBRA once a month. And it's very expensive. Because it's an outside insurance, it's an outside insurance premium. And why it's so expensive, I don't know. But go look it up. So I knew that I could not afford that because it was going to be like, at that time, it would have been $500 a month. And at that time, when I left the University of Chicago, I was making like $17 or $18 an hour. Okay, but that was back in 2011. So I didn't know what to do. So my mother said, you're going to have to go and get, we had Governor Blagojevich at the time, who was our governor, who put in motion here in Illinois where you got this all kids insurance if you, did not have a job. So not only did this insurance cover Christopher, it covered me as well as the custodial parent, right? So my mother said, you're going to have to go. You're going to have to go to the aid office and get public assistance. Now, mind you, I had my my TIAA-CREF 401k that I had money up there because I had worked here 14 years, so I had money. So what I did was I would draw some of that money down because I had applied for unemployment. Well, I got unemployment, but on unemployment, like back in the day when people got unemployment back in the 80s, the 90s, you would get unemployment for almost 2-3 years. Well, the government stopped that. You could only get employment for 6 months. So I got unemployment for 6 months. That was it. That was it. So when the unemployment ended, I had to go into my TIAA-CREF 401 and had to sit on the computer. I would call this guy. I had his number directly. I cannot remember his name. When I tell you all, he was a godsend. This man walked me through everything. Every month, he would send me a check of so much. Because once the unemployment ran out, there was no money. And somebody asked me on the live, did I have money saved? I did. I had money saved. I had money saved, and I was going through that because I was paying my rent, right? So I had money saved. I had money saved from previous income tax, previous income taxes that I got. So I was taking that money and I was paying my rent. And at that time, my rent was like I think it was like $700. She never would go up on the rent, but I had $700 to pay in rent, and my car note was like $4 something. Plus I had light, I had cooking gas, and I had light, and I had cable. So I'll never forget my friends. I was in this Facebook group, and most of the people that was in this Facebook group, there were people that I graduated from high school with. And I'll never forget, they took up a collection for me. And they gave me this little trophy that said Best Mom. Because I was struggling, but I was making it. You know what I'm saying? I had another friend, she gave me a stack of gift cards to Red Lobster, Longhorn Steakhouse. She said, you ain't got to pay nothing. Just use your gift card. All of the gift cards were like 50, 100, 200 on there. So we didn't go hungry. I had people that were buying me groceries. I had people that was bringing me stuff for Christopher, snacks. I had other people that were on Snap that were giving me their link card before I got my link card to go buy food. My mother and father were paying my rent. They were paying my other bills. Then my aunt, she moved in with me. She wasn't a big help because she was struggling. But my light bill was like $500. And I was under. That's why I don't get these outside energy when they call you and say, oh, we can lower your light bill, we're outside energy company, we can help you. Don't fuck with those companies. Just deal with your light company, because when you get them outside energy companies, they really make your bill higher, not lower. That's a scam. Okay, so people were giving me groceries. I would get the money from TIAA-CREF and I would pay my car note, or I would pay this, or I would pay that. I mean, I was struggling, but God had me the whole time, because just like now, that's just like now, when people right here on this platform have sent me money or helped me or whatever, God has never, ever, ever, ever had me where I could not feed my child or I could not eat myself. But when I hear people losing their SNAP benefits, my heart goes out to them, because I know what it feels like to be in that position of not knowing, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And when you got eyes staring back at you and you're the adult and you know you got to feed them, you all need to really, really, really look at videos of these parents saying that I'm not eating because I want to make sure my child is eating. That's a parent. So when I lost my job, Christopher was going to daycare. So I told the daycare provider, I said, I'm not going to be able to bring him. I said, because I can't pay you, and she said, listen, bring him anyway. Bring him. So you can go find you a job. Bring him. I said, she said, just bring him. So I said, okay. So I kept bringing him, and I was paying her, but I wasn't able to pay her like I was paying her before, because I had to pay her every week. And I don't know what it was. I think it was $120 or something like that every week. It was high, but he went to a home daycare. But she said, bring him anyway, bring him. So I called fat ass, the sperm donor, and I said, I've lost my job. And I said, I knew he got Link, right? He got Link. So I said, can you give me your Link card so I can go and just buy Christopher some snacks, some crackers, just to have stuff in the house for him. He tells me, yeah, you can get my Link card. And I was kind of shocked when he told me that I could come and get the Link card, right? I was thinking to myself, he's such a narcissist. I was like, this is a trick to this. So I said, well, what day can I come and get it? So now, mind you, before I talked to him, I talked to his mother. And I told his mother that, that I was really, that I was really struggling or whatever. And so she said, call Anthony up. Call Anthony and tell Anthony that you need the Link card for Chris. And I was like, I don't know about all that. She said, I call him. She said, he better give it to you. So I went on and called him. Bad mistake, right? So I go on and call him. And I said, hey, I told him the situation and everything. He said, yeah, my mother told me. Now listen to this. My mother told me that you lost your job, that he said. So if your mother told you that I lost my job, why didn't you call me and say, hey, Sherelle, I know you lost your job. I get Link. Come get the Link card whenever you want it, to make sure that your child ate, that I could go to the grocery store and get some groceries. And I kid you all not, I had lost my job in February. I didn't contact him. It was June. So from February, when his mother found out that I had lost my job, up until June, this motherfucker never called me to say 2 words to me, or even tell his mother, hey, mama, listen, me and Sherelle don't talk. We don't deal with each other. I'm going to leave my Link card here. Tell her she can call her up and tell her she can come and get it, even if he didn't want to deal with me. See, there's always been a middleman when it came between me and him. There's always been his mother and his sister. Where he going? It's always been his mother and his sister. There's always been a middleman. So he could never say, he could never get in contact with me. He could never find me. He don't know where I am. To this day, he can't say that. Because his sister and I are like this. We're Facebook. She and I are Facebook friends. We hang out. We go to parties. We party together. Me and his sister. So he could never say, I don't know where she is. I don't know where my kid is. Yes, you do, motherfucker. Yes, you do. You knew where my mama lived. You've been in my mama's house 1,000 times. You knew where I live. If you knew, well, you know what? I know I can't put nothing in Sherelle's foyer because she in an apartment. I leave it on her mama's porch. I know she will get it. I know my son will get it. So from February to June, this motherfucker hadn't said shit to me about come get my Link card so you can take Chris to the grocery store. I had to call him. And that's what he wanted. He wanted me to call him. And I didn't want to call him. I was like, no. I told his mother, no. She was like, I already talked to him and I told him to give you that Link card. I did not want to call him. But she insisted, or kind of like made me call him. Call him. Call him, Sherelle. Call him. Sherelle, I'm not playing with you. Call him. All right. So after a week went by, I still hadn't called him. So finally I call him and I tell him the situation. So he tells me, yeah, come get the Link card tomorrow. He said, I'll be at work. Now he worked at this car wash. They were teasing me here at work because I was saying how he told me that he was a construction worker and he got laid off, but he really worked at the car wash the whole time. Okay. So anyway, he said, now the car wash, I was on 71st and University, and the car wash was on 83rd and Stony. So not far. You do the math, the diameter, the mileage. He said, you come get it tomorrow. Like I said, it was in June. I gotta go punch in. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me finish the story. Hold on. Ooh. My foot is getting worse and worse. I gotta have this surgery. I just don't know when. Oh. So he said, yeah, you come get it. Come get the link card. So I said, okay. So I dropped Christopher off at the daycare. And then I called him and I said, hey, I'm up the street. Because his job was on 83rd and Stony. The lady lived up the street on Stony. I can't remember what the street is. In fact, I looked at I was going to buy a house on her block when I was looking for a house. And I just did not like the way that house was made, so I didn't get it. But got approved for it and everything. But anyway, so I said, okay, I'm on my way. I said, I'm up the street. He said, okay. So when I get there to, when I get there to get the link card, I had on a sundress. So when I get out, he's gawking at me, right? He's gawking at me. So I just kind of like looked at him because, motherfucker, I would never fuck you again. I'd rather fuck my finger than you. So I said, hey. He was like, hey. He said, so he looking in the car. He said, where's Christopher? I said, I just dropped him off at daycare. So he goes, you just dropped him off at daycare? I said, yeah, I just dropped him off. And he's like, well, I thought I was going to see him. Now, never asked to see him, okay? And I said, no. I said, if you had wanted to see him, I would have brought him up here. I said, but the reason why I didn't bring him up here, I said, because I dropped him off at daycare. I said, because I got to go. I think I had an appointment with the aid office. I said, I got an appointment. He said, so let me get this straight. You got money to pay the daycare, but you want to come and get my link card. What did one or the other have anything to do with? First of all, he didn't even know the situation with the daycare. I said, I'm not paying her right now because I haven't got my unemployment. And I said, but she told me to bring him because I got something else to do. First of all, why the fuck am I explaining anything to your broke down, no having job, link card motherfucking ass? You fat bitch. So I said, so that's why he's at daycare. Well, I mean, you coming up here asking me for my link card, but my son ain't in the car. I wanted to see my son. You can see your son whenever you wanted to see your son. You ain't thought about seeing your son. You've been known that I've been laid off since February, motherfucker. And I had to call you. So he goes on. He says to me, he says, I wanted to see my son. I thought you was bringing him up here. He said, so, but you gonna come up here and tell me that he at daycare. I said, look, I ain't got time for this. I said, I got too much going on right now. I said, do you have the link card? Yeah, I got it. Let me go back. Let me go in here and get it out of my wallet. So not only is he standing out there, it's some other guys standing out there, and they listening and they looking. And so they too are sizing me up. I don't want to fuck with none of y'all either. So he comes back and he says, and I knew he was lying. I thought I had brought the link card, but I ain't got it. I said, okay. So I turned around to walk away. So I said, as I got ready to walk away, I said, you a motherfucking liar. I said, but you keep that little link card. I said, because that's all you got. Well, I ain't lying. Like I said, I ain't got it. I ain't got it. I ain't got it. You know, you want to come up here and be all aggressive. I told you I ain't got it. I said, and you a liar. I said, you a liar. I said, but keep it. Keep it. So I said, you ain't shit. Like that. So I turned around and walked away. Almost got hit by a car. Because as I was walking back to my car, stepping off the curb to get in the car, he called me a bitch. Fuck you, bitch. Let's have a moment of silence. So when I swung around to go back to get in his motherfucking face, a car was coming and it was like, almost got hit. They blew and everything. It was like, baby girl, you okay? I did my hand like this, like I'm good. I came back on that sidewalk and I said, you funky, low-down motherfucker. I said, call me a bitch again. I said, I'll whoop your motherfucking ass out here. Bitch, you ain't gonna do shit. No, in fact, let me not lie on him. Let me not lie. He did not say that. When I said what I said to him, and I got in his face, he just looked at me. I said, don't you ever disrespect me. I said, I came up here to get a motherfucking link card to feed your motherfucking baby. And I had my finger in his chest. I said, I don't need your black ass for shit. I said, I stopped fucking with you when I got pregnant. I said, just like I put your motherfucking ass out because you wasn't shit. I said, you ain't shit now. I said, I came here to get this for him because I don't need you for shit. I said, and apparently neither does your child. I said, so fuck you. I said, no, fuck you. So now I'm loud. So everybody that was in the barbershop getting their car washed, I mean, not the barbershop, the car wash getting their car washed, then came outside. Because I'm acting a motherfucking fool. Yes, I was. You gonna call me a bitch? You gonna have me come up here to get some shit there, and then you gonna lie? And then you gonna call me a bitch? You gonna say, fuck you, bitch? Ooh. I was gonna whoop his ass. I might have lost, but I was gonna try to kill him. So he's like, so he just sitting there, and he's light. He's a lot lighter than me. So he's red now. So his guys from the car wash are standing there to wash the cars. Because I don't know, this day it must have been slow. It wasn't that many people in there. Everybody kept in there. And so one of the guys that was getting his car, he said, hey. He said, come on. he came and grabbed me. He said, don't do this. Don't do this. He said, he ain't worth all of that. He said, don't do this. He said, I know you mad. So now I'm so mad that now I'm crying. I said, no, I lost my job and I got a kid. I said, he ain't never took care of his baby. I said, his child is 3. He ain't did shit for him in 3 fucking years. And now that I have lost my job, I said, I need some help. I need to feed my baby. And all I wanted was his link card. He gonna lie to me. Well, this made him even madder. The man who came out to tell me, come on, don't do this. He said, baby girl, what you need? What you need? He goes down in his pocket and hands me $50. He said, I know it ain't much. He said, but don't. He said, don't. He said, I can tell you ain't that type. He said, don't do that. Don't do this. He handed me the money and I gave the money back to the man. I said, no, thank you. I said, I'm good. I'm good. But I was crying. It was just because I was fed the fuck up. You know, understand what I'm saying? I was fed the fuck up. I had lost my job. I got this boy. I got to figure out how to make ends meet. I have no support, no help, other than my mother and my father and friends. But I felt defeated. I felt hopeless. I have never been without a job. I have always worked since I was 14 years old. I have always had a job. And now to not have a job and have to depend on other people, it was driving me crazy. Because I'm not that type that want a handout. And this is what I'm saying about other people that's in this same situation. There's so many people that don't want a handout. There's so many people that get up and go to work every day. They working overtime. They doing doubles. They doing triples. They working 2, 3 jobs and they still can't make it. And some people got 2 incomes versus 1. So I am so quick to keep my mouth closed on people's situation because I remember mine. So I gave the money back to the man. The man kept trying to give it to me. Anthony is standing there looking like a motherfucking fool because you ain't shit as a fucking man. That you refuse to pay for your... And if you didn't want to give me your lead card, why did you sit food on my mother's porch? Why did you bring... Because at this time, Christopher was 3, but he still was struggling with potty training. So I still had him in pull-ups. He pretty much had it, but he would have accidents, right? He 3. But everybody knows 3-year-olds love crackers, cheese. They like them, what do you call them things? My nephew used to love them. They were some little chocolate bears, right? So, you know, everybody knows this about 3-year-olds. They like stuff like that, you know. And at the time, the Dollar Tree it was $1, not $1.25. Okay, so you go in there, and you get some boxes of crackers or whatever. I just couldn't understand, and to this day I don't understand how you have never fed this boy. How you have never clothed him, how you have never, ever sent a card with $5 in it. He gets a haircut every 2 weeks. You can't send him 40. You get a disability check. For what? I don't know. For being fat and fucked up and lazy? I don't know. I don't know what the fuck he get the disability check for. You know, he getting ready to graduate. He going on prom. He got to have all of these fees, all this shit. He graduated from 8th grade. He didn't even send him a card to say congratulations. He act like he jealous because this boy is not him. Because he wanted him to turn out to be a bad kid. And he didn't. And he mad about that. I just don't get it. So, I get the man the money back. I get in the car. I'm pissed. I call his mother up. And I'm going off. And I say to her, I told you that he was going to do this. I said, that's why I didn't want to call him and I didn't want to ask him for nothing. And I'm crying. And I told her, I said, how he embarrassed me. I said, how he told me, fuck you, bitch. And she's just quiet on the phone. I said, I don't know what you got or what he is. I said, but I'm done. And I was always real careful saying certain things to her because that's still her son. And I didn't want to disrespect her, but I wanted to say, you didn't do shit as a mama with him. That's what I wanted to say. But I couldn't say that. Because then that's blaming her. And then, you know, she would have been on the defense and she would have went off on me. So I was always careful what I said about him to her. But she and I don't talk anymore like that because of the last incident last year when she told me to get the fuck off her phone and she called me crazy. That pissed me off. Because you inserted yourself and you let him use you. And then you realized that he had no intentions of doing anything. But then you took it out on me. And I'm not going to be nobody's motherfucking punching bag. Especially when it comes to dealing with him. I don't care who it is. His mama, his sister, his other brother. I don't give a fuck who it is. You're not going to beat me up. Because he ain't doing shit. I'm not going to take the hit from his shit. You understand what I'm saying? So she wasn't saying nothing on the phone. So she said, I said, I told you. So she says, let me call you back. So I happened to be at Jewel Osco because I had to go get a prescription refilled or something. And so I was trying to get all my prescriptions, all my meds or whatever before my insurance ran out, right? So I was going up there to get the last one or something. I don't remember what I was up there for. So while I was in the store, she called me back and she said, I called his ass up and I told him, you know, why would you do that and blah, blah, blah. And he gonna tell me that y'all got into. She has never been able to, not that you can make somebody do anything, but she has never had the ability to make him feel this or that or the other about what he does. Anytime you send your child a Happy Father's Day card and you know that he is a deadbeat, tells me a lot about you as a mother. She told me that Father's Day, she sent him a Father's Day card. And when I tell you that pissed me off, because how the fuck you sending your son a Happy Father's Day card and your son has never done anything for his son? And he's has been a horrible father to his daughter. But see, this is what I'm talking about, how we as women or as a society, we feed into narcissist behavior. And we keep them being narcissists because we continue to reward bad behavior. His mama ain't never told him what a piece of shit of a person he is for not taking care of his child. Because you send your mother a birthday gift and a birthday card. He used to give me beautiful cards. So you can't tell me that you don't know how to sign a card. But how do you do that for your mother, but you don't do that for your son? And for 17 years, from the age of 1 to the age of 17, you have never done it. And yet, you want this boy to call you daddy? And got mad because he kept calling you Anthony? Okay. Like I told Christopher, when you call him up and say you forgive him, he's going to say to you, forgive me for what? I ain't did nothing. The reason why I ain't did nothing for you, it ain't been in your life, is because of your mama. But see, Chris is going to have to experience it for himself to see just what a fucked up individual this person is. I can't save Christopher from everything. And no matter what I say, no matter what my mama say, Christopher has it in his head that Anthony is going to want to bond with him and be in his life. Anthony he's going to want to use you, especially when you get a job and you get money and you start coming into your own as a man. If you talking to him or being around him, he's going to try to fucking manipulate and use you because he is a narcissist. And narcissists have no ability to have empathy or sympathy for you because it's all about them. But Christopher gonna have to learn the hard way. He gonna have to get his head knocked up against the wall. He gonna have to get hurt and devastated and tore up and tore down when he found out what he liked. Because I can't stop him from him wanting to have this idealistic thing in his head about this man. He gonna have to find out on his own. And I'm gonna have to just sit back and watch it happen. And when he come to me, I'm gonna take him and I'm gonna hug him and love him and try to put them back together as best as I can. Because from last June, for 6, 7, 8 months, I had to deal with behavior problems from him. I had to deal with him being angry, being hurt because he stood him up. And I told him, I said, you want to reach out to him? You go right ahead. But when he fucking pissed you off and you see what he is, I said, you're going to want to go and find him and kick his motherfucking ass. And that's what I told him. Because he the type of motherfucker that you are willing to go to jail. He that type of motherfucker. He the type of motherfucker that you cannot fuck with him because you will end up in jail. Because you will kill his bitch ass. Because he's a bitch. He's a bitch. And his mama know he a bitch. His mama know he ain't shit. She ain't gonna say that to me like that, because that's her son. She did a poor piss ass job with him. Now, granted, she was a very young mother when she had him, and I understand all of that. I get that. But when people keep saying, well, he wasn't raised like that. He wasn't raised like that. Well, what way was he raised? And I don't talk to her anymore because I just don't. I ain't mad at her, but you're not gonna jump on me for you not doing what you should have did with your child. You're not gonna do that to me. You're not gonna make me feel no type of way because you dropped the ball with him. You're not gonna do that with me. Mm-mm. Like I told her a long time ago. I said the same way you feel about how you feel about yours is how I feel about mine. Christopher is mine. He not yours. He mine. So when it comes to Christopher, I don't care if you, the grandmother, him, the daddy, I don't give a fuck about neither one of y'all or what y'all think about me, because he came from me. And I am the one who's had all the responsibility of him. Yeah, grandma, you sent him stuff on his birthday. You sent him stuff for Christmas, but you ain't never kept him. You ain't never babysat him. You ain't never called me up and said, bring him over here. Bring him over here because I want to see my grandchild. You ain't even into him like that. So you don't get the right to feel no type of way about me standing up for my child. And I told her that. I know what type of mama you was. We ain't the same. My son ain't like your son. Cause my son don't have the type of mother that you are. Cause you didn't do shit. And that's why you got a shit piece of a nothing ass son. But that's on you, boo-boo. That's on you. So I don't talk to her. I don't call her. We used to talk all the time, but after she did and after she said what she said to me, I told y'all, you got one time to show me who you are, and I will stop fucking with you. And you will think that we are good. You will think, oh, she seemed to be okay. You know, she seemed to be, oh, I can be civil. I can be cordial. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you? But I will never fuck with you again on the same level that I used to. That goes for anybody. I am so good at dropping motherfuckers and you not even knowing that you dropped. My best girlfriend. Oh, she thought because we saw each other at the picnic and we was all cool, that everything was, you know, and she back started calling me, asking me about, she went because she went on the cruise too. Oh, we will never be friends like we were. Never. I can be civil. I can see you. I can hug you. Yeah, let's take a picture, girl. But I will never fuck with you. If I saw the ex-friend and he wanted to talk and speak, and there was other people around, I would exit left. I would never fuck with him again. I would never fuck with him again. I don't care how much I cared about him. I don't care how much good the sex was. I don't care. I would never, because I know how you felt about me, and I know how you feel about me. So I love her as Christopher's grandmother. But that's it. If she called me up and told me she needed something or she needed me, I would be there. I would go. If something happened with her or happened with her husband or whatever, because he was sick one while with breast cancer, I called her, checked on him. But this is before this had happened. But if something happened with him or her, I would be there. I would be there. But I would never fuck with you again on the level on which we were. Because once people show me who they are, I believe them. And I know we all make mistakes and we all say things and, you know, I know. But see, this shit been going on for 17 years. You haven't been able to get your son to do shit. You've taken up for him. You had the nerve to tell me one time, yeah, well, Anthony, he just said, he just done with it. He ain't gonna try no more with Christopher. He just done with it. Okay. And I told her, I said, well, that's convenient, isn't it? It's convenient for him to be done with it when he hasn't done anything. So, I lost something for her. I not only did I lose something for her that day, I actually lost something for her a long time ago when she told me she sent him that card, when she took the pictures that I gave her and she sent them to him. So it's a lot of little things that has happened over the years that I have let go and kind of like that has bothered me, and I have not said nothing about and have not, said anything to her about. But it's a lot of little things. And when you standing in my face and you telling me that your son is saying that he's not going to be a father to his kid because his kid feels abandoned and hurt, and he said he just, Anthony said he just gone. He just done with it. He just done with it. Okay. Okay. And what I told her? I said, I'm so glad that when Christopher makes me mad or something happens with Christopher, I'm not done with him. I said, but that's the difference between a parent who loves their child and knows their child versus one who don't. And your son don't. And I've told her to her face, he don't love him. He don't love him. He don't love him. I have not spoken that to Christopher that way because I don't want to hurt Christopher. But what I have said to Christopher is, do you know what love is? Christopher said, yeah, I know what love is. I said, so then ask yourself, do he love you? Ask yourself that question. Don't ask me. Ask yourself that. If you know what love is and you have experienced love, ask yourself, does he love you? Based off what you've experienced. So that's my way of telling him he don't love you. How do you miss every birthday? How do you know your child has had surgery, heart surgery? Come on, y'all, connect the dots. So I'm going to say this. When we sit in our little bubble and we ain't where somebody else is, you don't know where you going to be tomorrow. You don't know where you going to be tomorrow. You are here today, and tomorrow can be a different story. You can be good today and walk into somebody's doctor's office and they tell you that you have cancer. And with them telling you you have cancer, you have to now figure out how you are going to do chemo and radiation and all this stuff and work. And now you can't work, and now you need what? Assistance. So everybody that's getting public aid or SNAP or Section 8 or whatever ain't because they want it, but they need it. They get up every day and go to work and still cannot buy groceries because they're paying $1,200, $2,200 dollars in rent. They got car note, car insurance. Or they got if they not got a car, they got to get a bus pass or a train pass. That's expensive. And then they got a mouth or some mouths to feed. So, you know what, America? Stop judging other Americans. Because what affects you not having affects me that does have it. So, all these people that are not getting paid, that work for the government, and they still got to come to work, how do you expect them to come to work? And they can't put gas in their car to get to work. How do you expect them to come to work when they cannot pay for child care for somebody to watch their child while they work? How do you expect them to come to work and they don't have money to buy lunch? They don't have toiletries to buy to take a shower, to be fresh, to come to work. So see, it affects everything and everybody. So when you getting ready to go on your nice vacation to Hawaii and you standing in the long TSA line and it ain't nobody there working and they telling you it's going to be a 3-hour wait and you all in your feelings, they need to do better. No, who the fuck needs to do better is the motherfucker that you voted for that has shut this shit down. That's who the fuck needs to do better. Not the everyday working American person that's getting up trying to make a motherfucking living. That's who needs to do better. The Democrats and the Republicans. Because they are the motherfuckers that are still getting their goddamn check. They still getting paid. While the regular working American person is trying to fucking figure this shit out. And now you getting ready to take my motherfucking food stamps away, and Thanksgiving and Christmas is coming. You motherfuckers. So those of you all to get on here and say, oh, I don't like to talk about politics. I don't like to talk about, okay, you may not like to talk about politics, but I guess what? Politics is a goddamn thing that is starving fucking Americans that's getting ready to change the game come tomorrow. So sit up on your motherfucking high horse and judge all you want. But I promise you, every day ain't promised to be no good day. We don't know what's going to happen from minute to hour to second. We don't know. You good today and tomorrow your life can motherfucking change. So I don't sit on social media and write these fucked up posts about, yeah, they should have prepared. Because I don't know what's going to happen with me from day to day. I just get up every morning and say, thank you, God, for a new day. And God, keep me safe and keep me blessed and highly favored. Because I don't know what's going to happen. And I definitely ain't finna judge nobody about getting some goddamn SNAP benefits. It's just mind blowing to me how we so quick to judge people. You can't rely on that. Why not? Why not? It's not that people want to rely on it. Some people don't have no choice. Some people doing the very best that they know how to do. Woo! You better be careful out here, because people that are hungry, when you hungry, you desperate. It's sad. But anyway, you all, happy Friday. If you can be a blessing to somebody, if you can help somebody, if you can do something for somebody, do it. Do it. My knee is hurting. Put this Tylenol on it. If you can help somebody, help them. Before you talk about somebody, figure out a way to help them. I know there are people all over the world. People all over the world that, are not what we consider to be right. I know that there are people that do stupid shit, scammers, all of that. I know. But we got to let God deal with them, and we got to do what is right. Because at the end of this day, we don't know what's ahead of us the next day. So if you can't help me, if you can't help somebody, just say, you know what? Let me whisper a prayer for them. Like, I want to go get my hair done, right? And I don't have the money to go get my hair done until next week when I get paid. That ain't the worst thing in the world right now to me. I can put a hat on. I can work it out. I can figure it out, But, I know I'm going to get a check and I can get my hair done. I know I'm going to get a check and I can pay my bills. And I can feed myself and I can feed Chris. But it's a lot of people in the world that are just really, really struggling, and they work. So I don't want to judge nobody, because I don't have no room. I promise you, I just don't have it. I don't. I just don't. I called my beautician yesterday. I said, no. She said, you're not coming? I said, no. I said, I don't have the money. And she said, girl, I know. She said, I understand. She said, I understand. I said, yeah, I don't have the money. I said, but, I'll be back. I'll be there next Friday. So, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go next Friday and get it done. So, you all, I'm going to let you all go. And I will see you guys. I'll see you guys later. And I'm going to release some more of those videos for you all to watch. thank you all and appreciate you all for your support and your love and your prayers. And I'm just praying for everybody. I'm praying for everybody. I'm praying for everybody. So you all take care of yourselves. And hopefully things will get better. So y'all have a great day. All right? Okay, it's 7 o'clock. Let me go on and go on to work. Peace and blessings.